Coach Kim Mulkey, legend of the game. 4 national championships, 5 Final Fours, 60-17 in the NCAA tournament. Coach, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. Hey, before we get into the basketball, though, there's a lot to get to. There's a great piece in The Advocate today, and it has to do with a retired teacher from Dennis Springs named Paula Manfrey. And she had to go undergo some cardiovascular treatment, right? She was discovered to have had what is known as a widowmaker. Where it becomes interesting and how it ties into you is that she said the only reason why she got her heart checked is because you advocated for women over 52 to engage in cardiovascular screening. I know you've dealt with some of this as well. Coach, what does it mean to you to hear such kind of a direct, life-saving success story based off of something that you said?
Bob, that is exactly why I shared my personal health story. I think Rabelais with The Advocate asked me to do it. And, you know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about anything within their family because it's personal. And I'm really the opposite. I think if I have a platform and I can save just one life, that's what I should do. And so I did do the story, and I think in the story I said if this saves one life, it was well worth sharing my story. And we were taking off to go to the SEC tournament, and they had a send-off, and this lady walked up to me and started telling me the story. And, of course, wow, it brought tears to my eyes because it sounds like the widowmaker, and what she had is a little bit more serious. They're all serious when you have to deal with blockages in the heart, so don't let me make it light. But when she said widowmaker, I thought, oh boy.
Yeah. And
our media relations guy got her name and story, and I want to say Rabelais even walked up because he was at the send-off, and so I'm sure that's how the story got out there. But that's why you share these things, so that you try to help somebody else, and it's touching, and at the same time, it's a great story. I wonder if the AP guy that wrote what a horrible person I am, I wonder if he
Yeah, I mean, bro, we've talked about it, Coach. It's crazy how they seem to have it out for you. By the way, if you want to read the story, Reed Darcy wrote the latest piece. It's in The Advocate today. It's very heartwarming. And again, like, let's remind everyone that, you know, if you're listening to this right now, maybe go get screened. Go get checked out. Why not?
See, Bob, let me say this. The thing that I would tell people is you don't look at me and think I would have a heart issue.
Yeah.
I had no symptoms. It was found by accident. And so now I tell everybody over 50, what do you have to do? Go do it. Go get on a treadmill, and it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yep, absolutely. So some good life advice to kick off today's visit. Now let's get into the basketball. Coach, Selection Sunday this past week, and my God, this is a tough region. You know, people are calling it the group of death. We're talking about 9 teams in the top 26 net. No other region has more than 6. You're talking about teams that, according to the expert, LSU, West Virginia, Colorado, Middle Tennessee, UNLV, Kansas State, all underseeded compared to what they projected to be based off of the numbers. There's the most star power in this bracket, and it's not even close. What's been yours and your team's reaction to joining what people are calling the group of death?
We haven't even discussed it like that. What I did yesterday is I presented the bracket to them, mainly for those that are freshmen, because it's new. This is what it's about, first and second rounds. And if we win, you know, you're explaining to the freshmen a little bit about how this all works. Never discuss the toughness of it. That's, you know, why. We got to play them. We can't change it. My approach to it has always been of late. The older I get, the committee never surprises me anymore. But we do have a tough bracket. And I'm not really sure how they come to pick all of that. I do feel sorry for the fact that UCLA and many teams out west have to get on an airplane if they win and basically fly to Canada, because Albany is just about in Canada.
Yeah.
And yet, it is what it is, and you just got to go play. And if you're going to be a champion, you got to beat everybody anyway. But there are some brackets that are, in my opinion, definitely easier than this bracket.
And, Coach, obviously you can't look too far ahead because you don't know how chaotic it's going to be as you move on. And so, is that something even with your older players that you just kind of give them a quick reminder of staying in the moment, staying within, hey, we play Rice, and then we'll get to the other stuff when it happens, just because, as we all know, like in the NCAA tournament, you never know. Like we see teams that we don't think have a chance to win all the time in the NCAA tournament.
You are exactly right, Hester. Let me tell you, I coach the next game, and I will definitely today, if you watched us practice, it's going to be about defense and defending Rice, and then we've got to defend who we think will win the next game, and I don't know who I think will win the next game. I think, if my memory serves me, Middle Tennessee played Louisville last year and beat them pretty handedly, yet Louisville finished 5th in the ACC this year. An interesting little tidbit, this is when you know you're getting older. Okay, 2 of my former managers are assistant coaches at Rice.
Wow.
And one of my former All-Americans is an assistant coach at Middle Tennessee.
Wow.
And so they know me inside and out. They know what I bring offensively and defensively, and I look forward to seeing them. But it's just amazing that not only do you have former players in this business now, I have probably more former managers that are in coaching than players.
Well, and Coach, you mentioned after the SEC championship, right, how you loved your team's form, right, defensively especially, really rounding into form. Really, the only thing that would have held you back from wanting to start the tournament the next day would have been health-wise. And I apologize because I know you've answered this, but just for our show's purposes, I mean, last year, Poa seems like she's on the road recovery. Angel's ankle, good to go. How are you feeling health-wise entering Friday's tournament?
Absolutely. Michaela Williams is playing full practice every day, getting back into rhythm on her shot and stuff defensively. Angel moved around great yesterday. Poa was actually in practice gear, making passes on the court yesterday. Nice. No contact. She is making progress every day. Her parents have been here for 4 or 5 days. They left last night to go back to Australia. So everything is looking good. I have not specifically asked if Poa will be available this weekend. The way I work with that is you tap me on the shoulder as a trainer and you let me know, hey, she's good to go full speed. And when they do that, then Poa will be playing and back at where she was. We need Poa. We're a much better team when Poa is at the point because it allows me to have a rotation on the wing between Flau'jae and Michaela and Haley at her natural position, and I just think we flow a little bit better.
Coach, when you've talked about this before, like having the ability, like things we're talking about, like trying to get a player healthy and not having to travel, hosting these games in Baton Rouge, just like we talk about that in college football playoff on the football side of things. This will be the first time that you get to host a playoff game, but just talk about what that means to your team, knowing you can practice in your gym, get ready in your facility, watch tape in your video room, and what kind of advantage that could be for you.
Well, certainly it is an advantage. It's not a guarantee that you're going to win, but we've been blessed since I've been here to host all 3 years, and we've been a 3 seed all 3 years. And it's been very, very good for us. The first year we lost in the second game against Ohio State, and then, of course, last year we went on and won the whole thing, and then this year, guys, we've got 3 tough teams coming in here. I mean, it's not going to be a cakewalk by any stretch. I mean, Middle Tennessee, Rick Insel, their coach, he's a Hall of Fame coach. That man can flat out coach, and he's just good at what he does. And they beat Tennessee this year. Middle Tennessee beat them on a neutral court, and so the Louisville speaks for itself in the history of what Jeff Waltz has done at Louisville. So this is going to be a tough little first and second round, and I can assure you, if you don't have a ticket, you better try to get one, and because the NCAA takes over tomorrow now, and we have to send certain allotment of tickets to each school. but that doesn't mean each school will use up their allotment. And I would be in the ticket office and say, hey, put me on a list because this is going to be some good basketball this weekend.
Coach, and when you're talking about tournament time, it's so crazy in terms of just kind of like how the sport is made up, right? And that it's like everything builds towards this, and then it is such an all or nothing affair. And yet, as I mentioned, a 60-17 record in this tournament in your career. What are the traits or the elements or the techniques that you employ to find consistency with so much on the line? Like, you can't have an off day because the second you have an off day, you're done.
Well, was it ABC? Who used to have that great commercial, the thrill of victory and the agony of
the wide world of sports back in the day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what this is. And what you hope you have within a program is experience, because experience matters. And that experience can come from a head coach, can come from an assistant coach, it can come from a player. But you have to have someone that has the ability to get extremely excited, but not overly excited, and you got to get the work done. What will be new for several in my locker room is they've never been in the NCAA tournament, and it's just got a little bit different feel. The game itself is the same, but it's just that excitement, and it's just that thought in the back of every player's mind and every coach's mind, you better win and advance or you're going home, and that's not a good feeling.
Coach, before we get you out of here, I got to ask you about the first pitch the other night at the Bananas game. I agree with you. I thought it was a hell of a pitch.
Hell of a pitch,
Coach. I don't know that I could get up there and throw it like you did. I mean, there was some movement, there was some speed. I gotta give you some credit, and I know that Kramer had to appreciate you going out there and throwing that kind of strike.
Listen, man, I played that sport before I played anything else. When I got on that mound, I said, "Where's the rosin bag?" They laughed. They went and got the rosin bag. I had fun with it, and I hope everybody, they like to hate on me on the national media, but somebody said it was on Good Morning America, and it was all in great fun. Had my grandkids there, had my Fuller family, my son-in-law's family there, and we were sitting in a suite, and they asked me if I would play a part in it, and of course, I'm going to play a part and have fun, and that's a side a lot of people don't see, and, whatever, and I said, sure, let's go have fun.
Coach, you, I got to say, the acting chops were there. I mean, maybe it's because, you've had an interaction with a ref or two in your day, but, it felt very natural.
Well, I've watched a lot of sports, guys.
Yeah.
I studied managers in baseball, and through the years, I've seen my share get ejected, so they asked me to play the part. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do here? Well, kick the dirt. So that's what I did.
Yeah,
Billy Martin with the Yankees years ago, man, he would let those umpires have it with the dirt kicking.
It was excellent, Coach. Sorry, last one. How was the game? The family had fun. It seemed like a pretty cool experience.
Now, you got to understand that it is entertainment.
Yeah.
And the thing I love the most is, they play so much music, and you just get into the music. It's nonstop music, and then it's entertainment, and that's whoever came up with that idea was really brilliant, because how long it lasts, I don't know, but it is flat out entertainment.
2 hours. That's their goal, Coach. Nothing's supposed to go over 2 hours. Their goal is to get you in and out.
I'm a purist. I love real baseball, but I am also a grandmother, and I wanted my kids to enjoy it, and they did.
Heck yeah. Well, it was awesome. I know you brought a smile to a ton of people's faces. And like you said, Good Morning America, eating it up, loving it. This Friday, LSU, Rice, tournament time. Coach, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a crazy week, and best of luck going into this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Take care now.
Yes,
Coach.
will do. Coach Kim Mulkey joins us every Tuesday. We're so lucky.